Alright, this is Block 9, the Liberal Establishment, Section 3, the Great Society, with the section Education Funding. This was the first of the Big Four. Before 1965, the federal government had nothing to do with education. Nothing. Not a dime. Education was a matter left up to the states and to towns, cities, and, counties across America. In 1965, President Johnson decided that the American people needed their education to be subsidized and funded by the government. There's no direct constitutional authority for this spending. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say Congress may support education. Johnson used the General Welfare Clause to justify spending millions of dollars on preschool programs, scholarships, grants, loans, assistance to individual districts for better schools, better faculties, anything you can think of that a school could want. All of a sudden there was tens of millions of federal dollars available. All they had to go do was find it. And the federal government, of course, maintains its role in education funding today, that since George W. Bush took office in 2001, federal spending for education has more than tripled. It exploded under President Bush. It has continued to increase under President Obama. And that was all started by President Johnson in 1965. Kind of the crown jewel program of Johnson's Great Society in terms of education was the program Head Start. Many of you, any of you who went to preschool in the city of Elizabeth are beneficiaries of the Head Start program. Head Start provides free preschool for 3 to 5-year-olds in cities where a certain percentage of people live below, at, or slightly above the poverty line. Elizabeth counts. Elizabeth is what's known as a Title I district. A Title I district gets a whole slew of federal Head Start money. All the preschools that operate in the city of Elizabeth are operating under Head Start money. It passed in 1965. It has provided free early childhood education to at-risk students, millions of them in the last 50 years. It is that liberals and progressives say it's one of the great programs in American history, and critics say that it has not shown any degree of statistical success, that students who go through a Head Start program have no difference in their educational outcome than poor students who do not go through a Head Start program. It's one of those things that liberals and conservatives like to argue about. Conservatives would like to cut funding for Head Start. They say it doesn't help anybody. Liberals say, how dare you prevent 3-year-olds from going to preschool. But it began in President Johnson's Great Society.